All right, welcome back to the AAA podcast, the show that gives you access hilarious to everything music, nightlife, and everything in between. My name's Lewis. I've got Joel dressed up really nicely. Obviously, if you're listening, you can't see this, but he's in a suit, so I don't know
Beautiful
why.
Man.
Yeah, definitely. And the man who just spoke then, we have Patrick with us, but you might better know him as MIIDDY. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Is it our pleasure? It is our
Thanks
pleasure.
for giving me
always our
my
pleasure.
Ribena.
It's always our pleasure. Of course, as well.
That's all I want on my rider.
Yeah. What is your rider? Do you have one?
Not really. I kind of like...
Ribena.
Yeah, I kind of drive to most of my gigs, so it's like... It'll be a beer at most, but, you know... I wish I could have Ribena.
You should just add it. Literally put it in all your things. Just,
Yeah,
I want
just
a bottle.
playing this local club gig. Please give Ribena. That is what I need.
I'm sure they'd have something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried Ribena and Jaeger before. It's very strange, but it's all right.
Wouldn't the Ribena outweigh the Jaeger?
I don't know. It's just like it's just a strange combination that you just kind of like. I wonder what this would be like, and then it's not worth it. I don't think you can mix Ribena with anything.
I've had some
vodka, surely.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You could.
I've heard of people drinking Ribena and vodka.
It would just be Ribena with like...
Which would be like a cranberry vodka.
Yeah. I had
cranberry.
someone mix Bailey's.
I had someone mix potato chips.
Jesus.
No, I had someone mix Bailey's with Coke.
Ooh.
Strange.
I had someone mix Bailey's with lemon juice.
Should not mix that with anything.
Yeah. What happens when you mix Bailey's with orange juice, Joel?
Was it orange or lemon?
It's not a good combination.
What?
Was it orange or lemon?
Lemon juice.
The acid just makes the milk go fucking solid, especially when it shakes together.
Yeah, it's a reaction from a chemical.
They call it what? A cement ball?
Cement mixer.
Cement mixer.
Jeez.
It just goes solid. So if you chuck it in your mouth, like both at once, and shake your mouth, it just goes. You can feel it just turn into like. Remember those dirt dessert yogos?
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh my god, they need to bring them back.
It's dangerous.
It just turns into a dirt dessert yoga.
Did you like them?
What were they?
Dirt dessert. It was like chocolate yoga, and it had did it have marshmallow bits in it? And then it was like underneath.
It's kind of like a biscuity.
Yeah, underneath at the bottom it had like a chocolatey biscuity.
Maybe. I don't know if I'm too young for that.
You might. We're just showing
you
our
might.
age.
You might be too young for the dessert.
Dirt dessert. That's probably why it doesn't exist.
That's literally what it was called. Dirt dessert. It was the best thing.
What a
ever.
name.
It tasted good, but I remember just feeling a bit put off by the whole
dirt dessert.
I love them. What were you going to say, Joel? You got put off by what?
the texture.
The text? No, I used to.
More the name.
No,
So
honestly,
I used to get the spoon.
food and textures, you got to have the right texture of the food, otherwise it just...
Yeah, chef over here.
Mr. Chef.
It could taste beautiful, but then the texture could just put you off.
But I have to say, I used to get so I would scoop because the chocolate, it was like chocolate crumbs at the bottom.
Yeah,
I
like
used
a crumble.
I used to get like the spoon and like scoop them and like scoop it up to the top. It was the best thing ever. They need to bring them back.
Definitely.
But just to add as well, we'll put down in the link below if you're watching this the video from Christmas if you want to see Joel having a cement mixer. It's quite funny.
I'd rather have a dirt dessert.
Let's see if we can. I'll see if we can find them. Hopefully they bring them back. Like what was the chocolate they just brought back?
Yowies.
Yeah, didn't like an Australian company just buy it so they could...
Really? What?
No, it's some like family company just bought it so they could bring it. Yeah.
Really?
Man, that's another thing from the childhood.
There was another.
There's something else.
There was a chocolate that was it was 10 years ago that they stopped doing them, and then
was it the marshmallow kind of one?
Yeah.
Yowies.
No, it's a chocolate.
Yeah, no, I heard about that. I think that's probably a family company just bought it from
The animal one.
from
And it was like
Nestle,
Australian animals. thing.
No. It was literally like a long bar. It was you either had that or like a flake or a crunchy. They were like it was like the similar kind of thing. I'll think of what it is later on.
Not a violet crumble.
It was similar to a violet crumble. We might have our while we're doing this, we'll have our production manager search it up for us so you can find out what it is, and then we'll work it out later on.
Definitely.
So halfway through, it just we just hear like, it was
this one. It's this one. Which we won't know.
Let's get into it. So we've spent the first couple of minutes speaking about alcohol.
Weird combinations.
Yeah. So we'll get you to introduce, I guess, a little bit about yourself, and like, yeah, what where you've really come from, and yeah.
So I started doing DJing when I was about 13 and producing when I was about 14 or 15, mostly dabbling in like Ableton and stuff like that, kind of going on and off and getting scared from it. And slowly I started doing like house parties from when I was 14 to 17. I think totally I did about 250 house parties.
Oh, wow.
In total, which was pretty good. Some really horrifying, like I shouldn't have done it. One of those ones where you see in the news and you're like, why would kids go there?
Were they Joel's parties by any chance?
Maybe. But yeah, and then from there I kind of just worked more on my music, still working on my style at the moment, trying to just keep doing all that. I've been playing piano since I was like 6, so been loving doing music for a long time.
So you, like classically?
Yeah, I did like classic piano, like all those like Mozart, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
From like, I didn't particularly like it, but it's like, it's a really good like step into how you should like learn that kind of stuff, because you learn all the basics and stuff. But then kind of from there I went on to like some jazz stuff, because it's more like improvisation, which is like more like making your own stuff on the spot and stuff, which I felt like creatively I could enjoy a lot more. Whereas like classic, it's like you need to play these notes exactly like this, like that. Whereas I felt like I like jazz because like, oh, you could do whatever you want with this piece of music, and you can just kind of make up a song on the spot inside of another song, which is really cool.
And do you reckon that's you've obviously transferred that over to what you're...
Yeah, definitely. I always try, just like, especially when I make music, I try not to even like reference any music. And I used to kind of like to, when I was like learning and like trying to look how to produce stuff, it was more just like, oh, I'm going to go make a trap song, I'm going to make a house song. You know, the big room was back then, so everyone was trying to be like the next Martin Garrix. So I was like, I'm going to do that. And then like after a while, I was like, I don't really enjoy like kind of following exactly what everyone else is doing, and I kind of just at the moment now I'm just kind of making everything I want to make, and I'm really happy doing it. Like I kind of like spin the bottle with like a BPM or whatever, and just kind of produce from there and just do it from there.
I think it also helps when you get to that point where you just when you're making whatever you want. Like if like with anything creative, it's kind of like if you're forced to kind of go into a certain genre or a certain section, then you're just you'll do it, but it's for the sake of it.
And you can totally see when artists and stuff, like, I don't know if you guys seen A Star Is Born, that kind of movie. It's like, it's kind of like she's like forced to push towards like a pop kind of thing, which happens so much with like certain artists and stuff. And you can see that they don't like it.
Did you cry?
I did. The ending was very sad.
Have you seen it?
No, I don't watch that.
It's pretty sad. Yeah,
I'll wait until it comes out on Netflix.
Yeah, I'll probably do that too.
Yeah. Pretty
Also,
sad
for
stuff.
a lot of people that do actually know you and have seen you play and all the rest of the stuff, you had a big beginning, and you were one of the popular faces of like a lot of the underage festivals and all the rest.
Yeah, so I got started with Crave, which was like an under 18 event, which was when I think the first club I played in was I was 14, and it was some random club, and we kind of went from there, and that was the first kind of like introduction to actually doing events and promoting events. And then Good Life Music Festival came on, which was at the time linked to Future Music, so they'd get like, they'd do the festival and just keep all the stages, and then just pay the acts like to play an extra day, and then I'd go down there, and then just play, and like it was my first kind of like thing actually trying to promote. Like it was like it was that thing where it's like, if you sell this amount of tickets, you'll get this set. And at the time, I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything else. So I linked up with another guy, Greg, at the time. He was a really good friend of mine, and we just kind of just did like a promo team, and just for the first time ever, actually just like tried all these different things, which I feel has like influenced me today on like how I market my stuff. So
that definitely, that the underage kind of scene like really helped to...
Oh yeah, 100%. And they really kind of like, the guys running it are amazing, and they really kind of like taught me, where it's like, they're like, you guys may feel that you're big now, but you got to realize that nobody's going to grab you when you're 18 just because you're some under 18 DJ. You need to push yourself, make your music, do whatever you want, DJ, promote yourself if you want to do that. Because we'll try to help you, but like at the end of the day, they're not just going to snatch you up because you're a DJ. Like it's kind of a whole different end to the actual scene.
You've got to have something.
Yeah. We did lots of like. I did like first. I never done social media marketing, so I just kind of destroyed my school with posters. You can see on that sticker down there. It just says code A1284 for cheap tickets, which was my randomized code, but I made that into like a complete meme throughout my school. Whereas for a show, I would put up 100 posters at every corner of the school, and just people would just like, the teachers would take it down, but I just put another one back up because they sent me 2,000. So I was like, I'm just going to keep putting them up. Got thrown into detention for like just putting up too many posters because once I had this big poster, I think it was Will Sparks was playing, and I just taped it to the canteen wall and just did like 10 layers of tape, and they just could not take it off, and it was great. And I ordered like 300, maybe 400 stickers just so that, because I used to just write on every single poster code A1284 for like free promo for this like a discount ticket. So then I just got the sticker so then I could do it faster and then stick it on there and then stick that everywhere. And then we'd go to the city and just hand it to random people and just like, I don't know, get people to pose with it and stuff.
So you would have had, some people may have called that graffiti, and
yeah, but
you're like
promoting.
Your school would have hated you.
I was at a private school as well.
Oh.
And I eventually got them to promote it in the newsletter. Because then they were like...
They've got to the point where they're like, all right, we're going to have to do something to shut him up.
We're going to have to do something, because it was like... I was putting it like in the gutters just so that people would look out the window and be like, what's that? And they'd go and grab it and be like, oh, it's a show. I should go down to the show. And just, it got out of hand, but I'm glad I did it. I sold lots of tickets through the school.
That's sweet, bro. How did it feel like being that young age, man? And you had... like you were backstage with some of these big names and you had access to kind of stuff a lot of people would never get access to, especially that young age. And then you went on to play like these big shows with these huge crowds.
Well, it was really like intimidating at the time, because it's kind of like you're a little like you played like 3 gigs before, and you're playing on like a huge stage with like Will Sparks playing after you, or like you're on like they did the festival and there's like lots of huge like Aura Grime and everything playing there and stuff, and you're like, are people gonna come see me, or like what's it all about? But when it gets down to it, I think at the time everyone there and everyone was so supporting of the artist and us. They were kind of like put us in our place a bit, but also like, enjoy yourselves, but like kind of know you're here kind of thing, because you're helping us promote it and stuff. But it was really good insight into like how lots of acts actually like promote themselves. Like I remember, sorry, thirsty. One of the owners once backstage told me about like Timmy Trumpet and how that it was not how big he is, it was how big people think he is.
Yeah.
So that, and he said to use the same thing, like Timmy Trumpet would play one show in a city and bring 3 shirts and then take 3 different photos so that it looked like he played there 3 times, kind of thing. So it was things like that where it was like, oh, people on social media like, oh, damn, he played like in that city like 3 times in like 3 months. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of, I know there's a lot of artists that will, like, say you take X amount of photos, not even just playing, but it might be while they're at a venue or on a plane or in certain situations, and then you just stagger those out, and it kind of you're continually releasing content. You could be at home,
yeah, exactly,
but you'd be like, oh,
it looks like you're on tour.
Yeah, I'm coming back from like the Bahamas or whatever it might be.
It's such a cool kind of like concept that social media can just like, which is like bad and good, that can show like a whole different.
But I think it's a way in which, and I know that Sean on our previous episode touched on it as well, where like he was saying more about releasing music, but it works hand in hand where like people eventually are going to forget about you if you're not putting stuff out constantly.
100%,
So
yeah.
if you're putting out, and whether people think it's right or wrong to do that, but if you're putting out stuff and it may be a photo that was from like a month ago or whatever, it's just kind of reminding people, hey, like...
Yeah, like, hey, I'm still here. Yeah. It's a kind of blessing and a curse because it's like a constant anxiety of like, am I going to post or people are going to forget about me? Like, if I don't post a photo, they're going to forget me, which is like...
I think that's and it's a catch-22 in the sense that people think they have that perception that, if I don't post today, people are going to forget about me. But then you don't. Like, I live on social, like all my socials are like every day, like I post.
Yeah, of course.
But I usually on like a Sunday or a Monday, I'll just take the whole day and I won't post anything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the most like relaxing. I'm not losing, like I don't lose views. There's no loss in like that sense. But it's like you kind of like, you're like,
it's the best thing. I recently took off all notifications for social media on my phone, and it's like amazing because like I used to get 2,000 messenger notifications on Facebook a week, as you can see it on the app. And from just group chats and stuff. And then since I took off all notifications for everything, my phone use has gone down like 40%. Because like you kind of just check your phone. Oh, someone like followed me on Instagram, and then you're just already on Instagram. You're like stuck in the void, so you just start scrolling like, oh, look at that.
Have you looked? I didn't know that you could do this, but you can go on your phone on Facebook, and it shows you how much your percentage is of usage.
I think is it on the it's on the phone because mine was like. Messenger was at the top with like, and it just shows like how many notifications and stuff.
Yeah,
and
like
it's crazy.
So you can go. It's like in your settings, and you can go through. I'll show you after this. But yeah, it was creepy to know like my daily use.
Yeah,
I think my daily use was like on my phone is 2 hours. Now 90% of my time is in my office, so it's on the computer. I'd be scared to know.
Mine was like 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours when I'm like not at uni or not doing anything, and it's like. Here's your weekly report, and you're like, what have I been doing? And I don't remember anything like productive last week. So that's when I was like, I'm just going to turn off all notifications, and because I was just going to go on like a social media cleanse, but then I was like, I'll just turn off all notifications and then see if it helps, and it really has. Just to like,
do you feel that it has relaxed you as well?
Yeah, because it's very like I get a lot of anxiety from that kind of stuff, being like. Oh God, here like I'm working in the studio, and then if I don't make a song, and then if I don't post about it, and then if I don't do like a photo shoot or if I don't do a show, I'm not gonna have a photo. If I don't post, your reach goes down, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do my thing and just see how it goes. But I feel like a lot less kind of like stressed and stuff. But I still try post and stuff as much as I can. But like it's kind of like, especially with Instagram, it's just Instagram's like pointless notifications. It's like, why do you need to know that someone liked a photo kind of thing? Why do you need someone's followed you? So that was the first one I took off accidentally and didn't realize for like 6 months. And then it was just from there I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take everything off.
I was gonna touch. Before, obviously, talking about like under 18s and all that, what are your thoughts? Because I know, and I can speak for myself and Joel, being old farts that we are.
I ain't old.
No, but so when we were growing up, when we were under 18s, easy. I heard that. When we were say 13 to 17, there was no under 18. There was no under 18.
There was one temporarily.
Was it run by you, Joe?
I'm not going to say who it was run by or what it was called, but there was. It was good, but it was the reason why there's changes in local laws. Okay,
so there's, for instance, like I know back when I was, I think I was 15, I went and saw, I went to Superfest, and that was an all ages festival, R&B. Great. They lasted 1 year, and then they owed a lot of people a lot of money. That's a different story. But like in a sense that there was no, like nowadays there's not lots, but there is a number of companies that run under 18 events. Do you think that like that's then in turn helped, I guess, everyone kind of not pivot, but like move into that 18 plus world? Or do you think it's a burden, like in the sense that like we never had many under 18 events or any at all? You kind of had to wait until you're 18, whereas you guys are like, hey, here's all the acts that we get to see.
Yeah.
But they're half price.
Yeah.
And you can see them when you're like 13. And then as soon as you hit 18, it's like, it goes from like $40 a ticket to like $100.
Yeah. I think, and plus drinks and Ubers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I think
if your mum to drop you off. Well, I mean, some people do, but
at the end of the day, I think I remember when we were going to our first under 18 events and we were like playing at the first under 18 event, it was such like a rush. Like everybody wanted to come because at the time nobody was like drinking alcohol or doing anything. They were just like, this is so cool. We get to go to a nightclub.
you shouldn't be because you're under 18.
Of course, definitely. But
Drink
like it was
The entire crowd was 100% sober.
I think. But yeah, it was just like a time where it was just kind of like, it was the first experiences in going to clubs. And it was like, it was hard to, when I was doing the promoting, it was hard to get people because nobody knew what clubs were like unless they had like older siblings. And it was kind of just like, and once they get there, like, oh, this is pretty awesome. It's either like, or at the time for me, because I wanted to play there, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Other people were like, oh, this is gross. This is loud. People just hooking up everywhere. And it's just the only thing they have is Red Bull and water. Like, but I think it's like,
well, it's like, what are they expecting? Like you're 15.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly. And at the time when they had the actual music festivals and stuff, it was really good because I was really into music and I know a lot of people into music, and it was just like, oh, we get to see these awesome acts that I was watching on like a YouTube playlist or something, and then they're coming to Perth, and then it's like, oh, it's on this huge sound system. They have huge stage setups and everything, and it's just a whole new kind of experience. And it wasn't too much to get saturated, which I think at the moment the current under 18 scene is so saturated that everything's kind of just halted.
I think it is at that point now where it's like, and I feel like even the same in 18 plus scene where it's kind of like I'll touch also on the under 18 scene where it went from, you go back 10 years ago where there was nothing and something comes along and it's like, oh, this is like Perth is hype city. we no,
oh my god, okay.
No, we literally are like the hype city. Like if something new comes along, everyone's like, oh my god, like this is brand new, like this is cool. And I'm just going to list a few. We've got Krispy Kremes when they first launched.
Oh yeah,
you had to line up for days.
7-Eleven as well.
7-Eleven. When Embargo Bar first came out, when
like a pop up, but they're like, whoa, you can do it outside.
Elizabeth Key, in the sense of like that, we just, as soon as something,
but it's a double-edged sword because it'll hype super fast.
Exactly, and then
it'll.
But that's what I'm saying
fall.
Is that like we're a hype city in the sense of it, like under 18. It may take a little bit longer, whereas it may be a couple of years where people are like, oh my god, like this is really cool.
Yeah.
But then after a while, it's kind of like, well, it's just the same. Like there's only so many times, and it isn't like, obviously because there's no alcohol sales and that liquor sales, it isn't cheap for them to then put these shows on.
Oh yeah, for sure. And all the licenses I remember were horrible. Like it was just so hard you couldn't get anything in the city and stuff. And but I think overall they kind of, when I first started, it was like 3 under 18 events, and it was like a perfect combination of this is for this crowd, that crowd, and that crowd, and it kind of worked. And it wasn't too much that the people were like, we shouldn't, like, there's too many events, where it would be like every 2 to 3 months there might be an under 18 event and it'd work out really well. Whereas now it was like one every under 18 thing, and then just people just like trying drugs and just crazy, and it just gets ruined, like derailed pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
But,
well, I was recently at an underage event, and it was all good for a while, but then it went to the point where someone started. It was as a girl, 2 girls. Someone was talking to someone else's boyfriend or whatever it was. One hit one girl, and then the girl tried to leave.
Jesus.
And I'm talking like it was outdoors. There was about 800-ish kids, and it was literally as soon as they left the fence of where this event was, it was on. Like I'm talking like you've got like, you imagine one gate for an entrance.
Yeah.
It was like 600 to 800 kids running out. Like they had
an out of control house party in like a popular area.
They called the police. Like they had the police come down to stop it all. But it was like it's that point where these kids just, they don't understand the sense of like how extremely lucky they are that these things have been put on, because 10 years ago they weren't. And at the same time, like you've just got to remember like how to act and like act civil. At a nightclub, if the same thing happened, you'd have 2 people being dragged out by bouncers, you'd be banned for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's that there's no consequences.
People are young and they're like, oh, I think we could do anything, and just get derailed.
Yeah, and I think it's something that like the under 18s, like you've got to kind of realize that you guys are in control of this. Like,
yeah, I remember that being happening, like them saying exactly that we were in control of it back then, and I didn't really understand it fully. And then when I got into the 18+ scene, I was like, right, like this is some of the stuff that went on shouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
and then it's like if that happened and they can just come back when the next event, it's kind of like, it's kind of like in school if someone does something wrong and then now everyone's in trouble and everyone gets
it was like I remember in sport it'd be like that one guy that did something wrong and then everyone would have to do like push-ups or something.
It's the same
you'd
thing.
Be like, you.
Damn you.
But yeah, it is, and I think that's like I wanted to get your opinion. You don't have to answer, but in regards to like Good Life specifically not coming back, obviously they only do like an Eastern States thing now and like not coming back to Perth. Do you think that behaviour was something that kind of...
Yeah, they actually did come back. They had a show planned at Perth Arena that I'm not sure if you might have seen it. It was the same kind of similar lineup to Hidden, but it was like ʔɪsᴇ, everyone like that for Perth Arena.
I might...
I was playing at that, but then I don't think they sold enough tickets, and I think that was the whole thing of like before, like if they did it maybe like a year ago, it would have been great in Perth. But like since the whole saturated market, everyone's like, oh, it's just another under 18 show. You know what I mean? And it's just, but in terms of like things that have happened, there's been lots of things done that like ruined. Not even Good Life's fault at all. It's just the people that came, like people that like jumped over the fence, like a few things happening, like getting like pepper sprayed in a mosh pit by a patron who jumped the fence, which is not any of their fault at all. It just kind of happens, and it's just because other people do wrong. They're like, you know what, we're not going to take the festival back to Perth next year because people are immature and they can't handle it.
Well, and
pretty much
it's a long distance to rock up for something that's...
Well, that's the thing, like the cost of shipping everything over. And
that's what nobody...
Not even shipping, like they truck everything over.
Yeah, truck and then fly all these artists over with Perth's like...
And then they're charging the same ticket prices over East, aren't they?
Yeah, and then but over East, there's like no under 18 events, which is like why it works. They sell out every show there because it works so well.
Because I think it is that like over here, it's like everyone's trying it, whereas it goes back to that not being saturated kind of thing.
Yeah,
like it's
just like when there's an extra show there, they're like, oh my god, it's Good Life. Good Life's back. Whereas like I remember when we were there, it'd be like, oh, Good Life's back, awesome, and then another few events came through, and then another few events, and they're like, "Where's Good Life?" Like, kind of like slowly sinking.
Yeah,
like just not any event's fault. It's just that there was too many events total, and then it's just kind of just derailed it, and everyone just got bored.
So I think they need
bad
to
at house parties.
They need to like, and it's the same with the overage scene. Like, I remember you go back like a couple of years, and it was like, I remember we used to talk about, oh, there's no festivals in Perth, like there's nothing. And now it's like we've literally got like everything.
We've got everything. Where your money's going to go.
It's great. We've got all these festivals, but now it's coming to that point where it's the same thing. Where it's like everything is. There's just so much.
And can't afford to attend all.
Joel's like, as you were saying, it's like you've got to choose. Like I remember when the point where we literally had, it was Groove in the Moo. And what was the other one that we used to have?
Big Day Out, maybe?
Future Music?
No.
Good Vibrations? Was that too far back?
No, that's too. It was in the recent years, but literally it was like the two big touring festivals was...
Listen Out.
I think it was literally you had GTM and Listen Out, and that was it. Like there was no other.
I remember when Listen Out came out, everyone's like, finally. Yeah. And I remember I bought one of the first releases.
I just want to quickly shout out to my best friend who... She'd been to the first. She went to the first one, and it was a very boutique. Like there was no one. Like it was like didn't sell out. Like there was no one there. She went the second year, and it almost sold out. And shouting her out, Shani, thank you. She bought me this when Flume played.
That's awesome.
Thank you for buying me that. But that back then it was the same thing where it was like the first one there was like hardly anyone there. Second one. It was bigger, a bit better. Bigger. And then by the third year, it was sold out straight.
Yeah, like Listen Out, especially just as soon as Skrillex was like, just bang, goodbye.
Whereas you look at now, it's like all of those, there's so many touring festivals going on that we kind of like, it is that very, oh, like we better choose like this one or this
Yeah,
one.
because I just bought a ticket to Hidden, and then the touch bass lineup went out. So I was like,
yeah.
like, damn it. But they're both great fair festivals, so I think.
And it is very. There's different genres as well. Like
Of course.
But yeah, we've just obviously come back from Laneway as well, and that's a different style of festival. Like it's very, I guess you would say, indie kind of music. But there is even a lot of those. Like you've got Laneway, Good Life, Falls. I was I don't know why I said Good Life. We've been talking about it too much, and then obviously GTM as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of those kind of. They all fall, and then you've got Hidden, touch bass, and they have their own separate kind of like that's a different
market
style of
and
music.
Stuff, yeah.
So I guess within it, if you go within the subgenres, there is a lot of like there is still choices for different people as well. So wasn't it different? I don't know the saying. You've said it before, but
Different strokes for different blokes.
That's the one. Now I wanted to talk about, so you, and this kind of links in with the whole touch base and all that kind of stuff. You describe yourself as obviously in a scene, and this is from your bio, in a scene.
Yeah.
So in a scene that, and I'm going to subphrase it, I think is the word that you would use. It's a big word.
Big word, big podcast.
Subphrase.
It's not big at all.
It's a big word for me, okay? No, but in an industry that is very bass heavy, especially now, you say that you're very you stand out in more of like a melodic kind of vibe. Do you still like? I don't know how long ago that was written, but do you still believe that that's the?
Yeah, because I did release a heavier EP in like October last year, and that was just a collection of songs that I was just kind of like, this is like a heavier kind of style that I'm going for. And they were still kind of, I never did like rhythm or anything. It was more just like half-time dubstep, kind of just like a mixture of things. And then after that, I was like, all right, I've gotten all the heavy stuff out of the way. I actually really enjoy making melodic stuff and playing stuff on the piano and then putting it in like that.
Yeah.
Which is more like, I feel like the industry is saturated a lot with that type of music. But like, that's just why I just do whatever. And I feel like it's eventually find its own little flow.
And obviously, as you were saying at the start about the whole being classically trained, that would obviously playing piano and all of that's kind of that's going to feed into the more melodic style.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's still awesome having that kind of knowledge when you're making like bass music, like just certain like elements. But I think it's more favored to melodic because it's like writing melodies and stuff and basing it off kind of music I've played and stuff. You
haven't thought of making like a Beethoven remix or something like?
Well, the royalties are free because he's like dead, been dead for 100 years. Right.
See, there you go. Just go through all these like old like.
That's what he did. Timmy Chum. The whole of his Toka song is based on an old Mozart song.
Yeah, well, you have to pay royalty fees to anyone.
No, he's dead. Goodbye.
I like. Very like he's just yep dead.
Well, not that, but like we'll respect his music and give his long distance relatives some money, maybe.
Yeah, someone's redone.
Yeah. Oh. Well.
Now I was going to ask you with the whole classically trained. Did you go to Whopper? Did I see something or did you?
No, I still study at Whopper, but I study sound engineering at Whopper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is even still within that music sense, but
yeah. So we do work with a lot of music people and stuff, musical theatre, acting, everything. So I still kind of plays, especially when I'm doing, because I do lots of recording for bands and stuff. So it's always good to have that musical taste to be like, maybe you should do this, like maybe this doesn't work like that, and stuff, just to have that extra kind of like leverage that, because I've played in a band before, and then
you're not kind of just being like, oh, well, bit of compression here,
yeah.
Like we'll put this, like you're actually going,
actually
if you played
producing that, like maybe if you play like this,
because
when our first band that I was in was did our first EP, one of our songs on it was just, we had like in the actual song now it's like it goes verse chorus, but when we brought it in, the chorus was in the verse and the verse was in the chorus, so it was like kind of switched around, and then the producer was like, it'll work better like this, and we were like, okay, and then it did, and it worked perfectly, which is great because he had that knowledge of being able to play with it before and kind of understands all that kind of stuff.
I guess it helps as well when you have someone that can like that's not in the band, kind of stepping out from the outside and just being like, hey, like this would work better, and you.
Oh yeah. I think it's great, and I always kind of like try if I can to just add my own stuff to it. Like obviously, people know their own kind of things. Like some people like want their music exactly how it is, and that's totally fine. But if you're there to be like, hey, maybe you should do this, or maybe you should add this, then I think it's always good. It's always good to have that perspective because I knew I never was going to be like amazing at like piano, like being able to like go and play on a grand piano, woo, like the whole way through. But it's good. It's good to just know that all the different kind of music elements. So then when it comes to producing and when it comes to recording bands and stuff, that it kind of have that extra edge that not everyone might have.
Yeah, it really helps.
At what stage was it where you kind of leaned more towards the DJ electronic scene than the band kind of?
Oh well, like at the time it was when I was like 15 to 17. It was like peak where I was in a band, which was that was peaking at that time. And then my DJing was on the side, and I was doing like minor producing on the side, and then kind of like things fell through the band. Like, nothing bad. We were just both really busy, couldn't organize it. And then I realized, well, I may as well just focus all my time on music side of that stuff. So then kind of just went from there, and I was like, well, I really enjoy kind of being by, as like loner as that sounds, I kind of enjoy being by myself in my room, just sitting there, being in my comfort zone and making my own stuff, not having to talk to anyone.
Nothing wrong with that.
They always say, and remember, I think Ollie the God said it once, he was like, when he came on the show, he's like, oh, have you ever been in a band? Have you ever tried to organize all these people at once? That's like, even with us, our small 3-man team, it's like...
It's hard, yeah, it's tough.
Trying to get all these people together at exactly the same time early.
And to get yourself, like there's a few that were kind of, like it's 6, 8, 10 months of planning.
I think we were supposed to be on like a few months ago, then I just was so sick. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to die.
We're not going to bring you... No, but even like in a sense of like trying to get people in, like if we go, all right, we've locked in a date with you... Yeah. And then we've got to kind of organise ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
But but like I couldn't imagine having a band. Like if you had like a 5-piece band and being like, all right, so we're going to rehearse this day, and someone's like, yeah, well, I can't do this time.
That's exactly what happens. And you're like, well, I can only do this day. And they're like, well, maybe we should just do band practice with 3 out of 5. And then was like, why would we do it without 3 out of 5? And then it's just like, oh. But yeah.
The guy on the tambourine's not you.
I know. We're going to cut him out.
That also eliminated a bit of a problem with like your electronic music. It's like you could be in any country in the world.
Oh yeah,
and you can just be sending stuff back and forth.
It's just amazing. Like I love being able to just be on my laptop and even bring it in here and just have like produce a bit on music.
Yeah,
and then I can just send it off to a friend and he works on it and sends it back to me as well. Like I could complete a song in like a week, whereas my friend's currently recording an album and he did the music like 2 years ago, but it's just so hard to record the drums, the guitars, the bass, and then get it all mixed together and then put it in an album. There's so much more work, and I'm kind of glad in that sense that I do electronic music where I can take the time and just do it myself, and I can just do everything like that myself, and then it's done, and then I don't have to worry about it, and don't have to talk to anyone else.
I couldn't imagine spending 2 years with the same music. I'd get sick.
I thought you were going to say you can imagine spending 2 years with the same people.
No, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Imagine working on the same album for 2 years. Wouldn't you just throw it out the window?
Yeah, I've done like if this year I'm kind of like if I don't finish this song or if I don't get a good idea in a week or two, I'm just going to delete the project because it's just because you hang on to these like maybe this could be good and you're like no, it's just trash. Like it was a trash idea to start.
What do they call it? Clutching at straws.
Yeah, something along those lines.
You're trying to
literally like it'll work. No,
I'm gonna make it work. And you're like, nah, shit. Do you get those moments like you see those memes and they're like, the night before you're absolutely banging out in the studio, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, what the f is this shit?
Yeah, I'm just like, man, this is so cool. I plug it in my ears. It will probably fatigued for like 4 hours listening on blasting, and I wake up and was like, delete. Like, what was I thinking?
well, obviously one project that you didn't delete and actually got released. So you've just recently released Escape.
Yeah,
that's your latest track.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a bit of a run? Like, how long did that take to kind of?
Actually, like me and my friend Frankie Timmis, we do like Airbnb stuff. So we'll just book out an Airbnb for a week and just.
I thought you said you had like an. Like, I'm like
No,
on the side. On the
God.
side, he's like running an Airbnb.
No, we try to book out Airbnbs every few months and just like for a week, even if it's like a shitty one down south, and just go smash out music for like a week, and then with that we about like. December last year, we were doing one in Scarborough, and we just kind of just normal house, moved like every piece of table, got all of our synths or pianos together and stuff. And then I just like worked on that song. I got this idea. As soon as I walked in, I had this like ARP idea on the like a melody idea, and I just played it on my keyboard, played it straight in. For some reason, it just came into my head, and then that was kind of the main chord progression and stuff of the song. And then I slowly worked on that over the 3 days, and I was like. And then, because I got this usage app on my laptop to see how long, and it was like 8 hours per day on the song. And then I was like, okay, I need to finish this. Like, because it got to the point where I was like, I can't do anything else. So it's either finished or it's not good. So I was like, I'm just going to do a few things. And then I left it for a whole day. And then I got home and then just set it up. And I was like, all right, this is done. I'm just going to go start to mix it and then learn how to master it and then go from there. But yeah, that's kind of the story. Kind of was like a lot of my other songs would take like 6 months of like preparing like the song announcement with the rapper Beachy. We started that in 2017 and it got released at the end of 2018. It's almost like a year and a half.
Whereas is that where this name comes from as well? Like Escape is in the
Yeah, it was kind of just at the time I was trying to, because the last thing I released before Escape was my Heavy EP, and I was like, you know what, I'm in Scarborough, I don't feel like, which is like a beach place for everyone who doesn't know that, like it's right next to the beach. Like I don't feel like making something heavy. I just want to make something that I like, and I'm kind of escaping from my own like thoughts and stuff. Yeah.
Oh well, it obviously we can't play it on here, but we will link it down below so you can check it out. And so I was going to speak as well another song. We were actually speaking about this before off air, but you and I don't know. Many people would know this in regards to Lewis Spears' Jeans song.
So that's like a
I need the lowdown on.
Yeah, so that's like an in joke. It started out as like so I listen to his podcast he does once a week, Spearhead Sundays I think it is, and he has like a radio show with luke&lewis as well, and basically that Lewis always used to talk about how he would never want to wear shorts because he looks stupid and because he's like 6'10", so he would just looks stupid in shorts.
Very, very. I've met him and he's a very tall man.
He's very tall. He's very like and he gets that obviously a lot because he's like, well, you're tall. But so he always used to joke about I don't ever wear jeans, and then like he made like a thing about like I'm not going to wear jeans the whole of summer. So in 38 degrees he was like going for runs and stuff, and then he made like a small little rap about what I think he was going to.
He's not going to wear shorts.
Yeah, he's not going to wear shorts for the whole of summer and the whole of summer to 2019, so the end of Feb.
Yeah,
and pretty much in his podcast he was kind of like having like a rap about it, just like doing whatever. And then I was like, oh, that could be cool. So I just edited it to put it into a rap, and then put a beat over it, and I just emailed him and I was like, hey man, look at this. Or I think I put it on his group and I was like, lol, have this downloaded. And then he emailed me and was like, hey man, let's do a full version. I've actually recorded the whole thing. I was like, I've been looking for a producer, so here it is. So I've just recently, like a few days ago, finished off and sent that off to him. So now it's just like, it's going to be interesting. It's very, very funny, but it was really cool like working with him. Only literally just looked over the email, kind of just like 30 emails across, like, hey, does this sound good? Yeah, cool. Do you want to do this? It was kind of just really cool, just like an easy flow, like kind of thing that he was and he was really interested in me and shouted me out on his podcast and said he liked my other music, which was really cool because I don't want to be like, oh, only known for like a rap beat kind of thing. Yeah,
only known for a rap beat from a comedian.
Australian comedian.
That's your thing.
my staple. MIDDY rap beat guy.
You should get rid of your entire bio, and it just says producer to the comedians.
Producer for the comedians by the yeah. But yeah, it was really interesting to work on because like I never really worked with like an actual like not like he has his own rap playlist, but not someone who's like that big where he's like toured Australia like three or four, 5 times now, and it was just like. And I've been watching him for years, so it was just really cool to just actually work with him personally and be like, let's do a track together and make it work.
It is crazy how the internet works, isn't it?
It's
literally, it's just something as simple as you being like, hey, I'm going to try this out. And it's like, bam.
Yeah, and like, it happened on that same week I was making that Escape song where he emailed me and was like, hey, can you do the beat? So I just did the beat, sent it to him, and then a day later they played the version on their radio show, which is like the 92.9 Hit FM, which is like a basic version, but it was really cool to be like, although it was like first song ever played on radio was something I whipped up in like 15 minutes.
Hang on, so that version, was that the one that they... like he literally played, and it was really long, and it just said, they were like, this is really long, and the full version's longer, but that was just a basic brief, because then after that I was like, shit, I didn't know they were going to play on the radio. I didn't really tweak it that well, so I went back, tweaked everything, and kind of remixed it, and added some more parts to make it more like an actual rap song, and then sent it off to him, and then. So is that going to be released soon?
I think so. He wanted to get it released pretty like. February sometime.
Okay, all right. Well, look, we'll watch out for it. And we'll share it on our socials.
Awesome,
once it comes out.
yeah.
Well, look, we've almost come to the end. You did mention before about the stickers, so we'll talk about it in a moment. But I always obviously like to throw it over to Joel just to see if there's anything that he wants to finish with.
Hello, Joel.
Hello, Patrick. Obviously, like, you done a lot of stuff that 13 and 14-year-olds could like only dream of, especially they might
I just want to clarify as well, he's not 13 and 14 now.
I'm not 19
we know
yet.
that. But when you were like 14 and all that, some of the access you gained and some of the stuff you done, like there might be like 14-year-olds thinking I could never do that, or like I would love to do that. Going back, what advice would you give to any of those people that might have been in the shoes you're in, wanting to kind of get to that point?
Just like most of all, just stay humble with everything. Like you see people it gets to their heads so quickly. Like and I would just say, just do the best.
I saw that.
What?
I saw that.
You look at him.
No, you can't just keep staring. I'm going to stare into your soul.
Dude, probably do the best you can. Learn your craft and just like. Promote as much as you can. Talk to people. Best thing is just like go to a show, go to an underrated show, and just talk to people. And then like email people. Do everything you can, and just work on your craft. Don't be like discouraged if anyone just rejects you. Say, hey, I don't like this mix, and just all right, fine. I'm gonna go do the mix again, but better. Like it's always like I had a few times where it was like had like a huge show plan where it was like I think when I was 15 or something, it was like. Opening up for some boy band at like HBF Stadium, and then it just fell through, and I was like, oh.
Do they have 5 members?
Yes, it'd be very hard for them to get that.
And one of them's called Harry.
No, it wasn't One Direction. It was an Australian one, but it was just at the time I was like,
was it 5 seconds or something?
It might have been something like that. It was one of those ones.
That's the only Australian band that pops in my head.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know any other ones.
The only other ones that I can think of is if you go
Is
back.
the Wiggles.
They
That's still the number 1 Australian act ever, isn't it?
Yeah, they make a lot of money.
I can imagine.
No, I was going to think of it's a 3-piece band. They're from the UK. I can't remember their name for the life of me. But yeah, I think it was 5 seconds. It must have been 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was something like that. But I just remember and it cancelled just for some reason for like my set, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But I was just think that like lots of things like now, like things just cancel on me. Things like I was just went to Sydney to do a show that got cancelled. And then
did it get cancelled?
Well, not the show. The club got shut down. So I was playing.
Oh my god!
A week. I was playing.
This is originally what we were trying to get you. I think it was before. I think it was the week before or something.
Yeah,
and
so
it was super sick.
Yeah, it was like playing at the Wall headline set. All like in like I was like, this is awesome because the goal I set last year was just to play one over each show.
Yeah,
and then it was just like cool. It's 6 days, 5 days out of because it's on a Wednesday, and then I see this post on Facebook that's like, "See you later, guys." from the club, and then what so not everyone's like, this was such a great club, like I'm so sad it's going, and I was like, what? Like nobody told me anything. Emailing the guy, and he's like, Yeah, man. Because of the lockout laws and stuff, it just got shut down. But then because they were like, oh, we may be able to get another venue. So we were like, fuck it, we'll just go to Sydney. Me and my friend Joseph, he was a photographer. We had no travel insurance, so we just went anyway. And then they were like, no, we're not going to do it. So we're like, and then a week later, it opened up as a new club.
Oh.
So it was like the worst kind of timing. But like at the end of the day, like shit like that happens, and like I was a bit like upset at the time, but it was kind of like, well, there's going to be more opportunities. And the guy was like, yeah, we'll get you back one day.
Did you get some nice photos in the harbour?
Yeah, got some good Insta photos. That's all that came out of it.
See, everyone's going to think that you've been in Sydney for the last 6 months.
Yeah, playing a show. But it was a bit of a meme.
Did you take 20 shirts with you?
It was a bit of a meme, but like at the end of the day, that kind of stuff happens, and like you can be discouraged and be mad. Can't believe they opened up a week later and didn't tell me. But like it's like that shit happens, and like in everything in life, things don't go right, and you just kind of keep pushing forward, and you eventually get that opportunity again. Which I think it could be relating back to Joel, it's just the same thing with being 14 and stuff. Don't be discouraged if anyone doesn't take you, or like if you go to a gig and nobody like likes your mix or whatever. Just keep doing it. You're only 14.
I think you need to you slowly grow thick skin as well. Yeah.
Definitely.
You've kind of got to learn that, like...
Yeah, if people are nice to you, then it's like, not like your mix is terrible. It's like, yeah, you could do this, like... But yeah, just don't ever feel discouraged by that stuff. Just keep pushing.
Going with what you just said, don't keep sending the same mix over and over again to everyone.
There's a side note to that. Side note to that, if you message pages now, I don't know, there's a few of them that have worked. If someone sends like, hey, my name's blah, 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 you know...
My name's Jeff.
You know when you get those...
My name's Patrick.
You would have got them, Joel. Like when someone's like, my name's blah, 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 like check me out, like here's my links to my socials and that.
Yeah.
Facebook now has spam. So it directly goes into a spam folder.
Really? Because I remember being that 14-year-old that like, damn, I played Good Life. I'm going to go message this page and be like, can I play here, please? And it's just like, at the time, you're like, yeah, this is a good opportunity. But then you look back, you're like, why would I ever contact a venue on Facebook? Like, go find their email. Yeah. Go find the person who runs it, message them on Facebook or email them, and then it can work so much better.
But you'll find sometimes a lot of people don't check their emails, especially these businesses.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
That's where you find the function or marketing one.
No, what you do is you find a little phone number.
No, functions always gets checked because they're checking for bookings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a tip for all you 14-year-olds.
That's also a sneaky one if you guys...
Put on your own show to function.
If you guys also want to get your invoice paid quick, send it to the functions.
Yeah. You're waiting on those invoices, functions at venue.com.
Don't send it to accounts because that's the last box they ever check.
Be right down the bottom of that list, the thousands of people they haven't paid.
Do you want to grab your little...
Yeah, I'll grab those stickers. These are one that I graffitied my school with. So you can, I don't know if you guys want to like stick it somewhere. You can take all of them. You can take one. You can take the whole sheet.
We're taking the whole sheet.
Okay, so if you want to, I don't know if you want to stick it.
Well, do you want to show the camera and just read out what it says? Oh, I'll read it. So is that A1284 promo code for cheap? That's literally all you did, and you just hammered them everywhere.
Yeah, because I thought what can I do differently to the people at the time? Because you have these thousands of flyers, but you don't have your code on it. So I was like, and I used to write like A1284 for cheap tickets on every flyer, and obviously half of them would just all of them would get thrown in the bin. But so like I would just put stickers on them, so it would just be like bang, 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 and it'd just be like a system, so it'd just be easier. So.
Oh, and you could stick the sticker on anything, really.
Yeah, anything. just
walk past the sticker.
It's not as bad as like scribbling it on the t-shirt. Be like, what did you scribble that on? Or anywhere to be like, why are you scribbling that? You just
I'm marketing.
Stick a slap. Yeah.
It's business.
It's business. Everyone's, why are you writing A1?
284.
You should get a tattoo of that.
Oh, no. My friend Mark had, because he was like East. And
what do we have to get you to do to get A1284 tattoo?
Oh, I don't know, man. A lot of money. Well, my friend Mark, who used to do the same thing, but he was kind of he got the East area because he was in that East, so he got that area. I got all the North area.
Yeah.
And then he got that on his leavers jacket because he did the same thing I was doing. Like he was like spreading it throughout his whole school, which I almost got my leavers jacket, but I was by the time I hit year 12, it was kind of on the decline. So I was like, maybe not.
And then that would have been a story you had to like explain to every single person.
Oh yeah, it would just be like, let's just get MIDDY on the back.
Well, look, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's it's been a good chat. Have you enjoyed the Ribena?
Ribena is amazing. It's very sugary, but I don't think I had it when I was a kid, and then my mom was like, "It's too sugary. You shouldn't have it anymore." And then I started having it when I turned 18. So. And I'm a big boy.
It's, like, it's not like alcohol. It's like everyone else. Like, I'm gonna go and get up on.
Yeah, I just want Ribena right up. So yeah, sponsor me Ribena. You know who you are.
Send it to functions at Ribena.
Functions at Ribena.com.
Thank you for watching the AAA podcast, the show that gives you access to all areas to everything music, nightlife, and everything in between. If you want to watch more videos, you can click up here. If you want to subscribe, you can click up here. We do also appreciate if you like the video, give it a like, comment, share. We appreciate anything that you do. Other than that, we will see you for our next video.
Goodbye.